Coming up on this edition of the Solo Show, Hawaiian style.
So then after that, you kind of moved on over to Aulani, and I understand you extended a day in Aulani from what you originally planned when we talked last?
Yeah, so we were originally going to stay there for 5 days, and with a garden view. And as we were getting closer, we realized, it seems like crowds are down and such. We'll take a chance. So we looked into it and said, can we add an extra day, or can we change to an ocean view? And we were able to do both.
This and much more coming up right now on the Solo Show, brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com. The future is bright indeed. We're all of us dreaming of the better days ahead, and a part of your bright new future could be a move to where the magic lives in the greater Orlando area of Florida. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. Victor Naraki is the realtor who can help you make the move you've always wanted to. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or looking to move near Disney World, Victor is in your corner. If you are looking for an experienced real estate agent covering all of Central Florida, please visit disneyatyourdoorstep.com today and find out just why you should work with Victor. I encourage you to create a free, no-obligation account on his website. By doing so, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Visit disneyatyourdoorstep.com today or visit his Facebook page, Victor Naraki Realtor. And don't forget to tell him the Solo Show sent you. Yeah, sure. Ohana means family. Yeah, no one left behind. No one except me and Stan. That's right. Yeah, no, I'm not jealous. No, we're not jealous at all. Wait, is the mic hot? Oh, man. Broadcasting from the Solo Studios, here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the center of North America, on this little planet we call Earth, this is the Solo Show. On this adventure, Stan has a twofer as he welcomes not one, but two guests to the guest host's chair. Justin and Monica Clark join us for a trip report. Aulani is the destination and their favorite rides and attractions is the topic. So now, please welcome your host, the man who stayed up all night sewing together palm leaves for our big Solo Show finale, Hula Spectacular. Is it three kick turn or... Anyway, here's Stan Solo.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Solo Show. And as you can tell from Ken's intro, this is going to be a trip report. Joining me today is Justin and Monica Clark. Hello and welcome to the show.
Aloha, Stan.
Aloha indeed.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for our upcoming trip.
Right. So we're talking Aulani.
Absolutely. We're going to Oahu in Hawaii, and amongst the places we're going to visit is Disney's Aulani, and we are very definitely looking forward to that.
Okay, hang on. You're going to visit or you're going to stay there?
Well, we do have to come home at some point, but we would rather just stay there for the rest of our lives.
No, but are you getting a room there, or are you just going to go? Yeah. We're going to go to the lobby and look along, like kind of.
We are taking advantage of their 30% off on 5-day stays, and we do have a 5-day stay book.
Wow. Okay, so I was going to ask you. Okay, so who's all going? Is it just the two of you, or are you bringing the neighbors and their pets, or what's happening?
Well, we don't like the neighbors or the pet or their pets, so we're just bringing the two of us.
Oh, it's Clark's neighbors. Pooping in my yard.
It's definitely
and
just
I'm not talking about pets.
No children, no pets, no neighbors, no nothing. We're just going by ourselves. It's a two-person trip.
Because we don't like the neighbors or their pets. They keep pooping in our yard. We're not talking about the pets.
There is a fence, but the dog keeps barking at us every time we go out into the yard.
Well, that's the dog's job. He only has one job, and that's to bark at people.
And anymore, it's like I even go over and I say, "Can I pet you?" And he's just like kind of looks at me kind of confused now, because he's like, and he starts barking and looking back like he's waiting for his own humans to tell him whether he needs to keep barking or not.
Alrighty. So when are you going?
So it's September 15th through the 24th. So it's about a week and a half, actually.
Nice.
So we are going to get a VRBO, a condo rental for the first few days in Honolulu near Waikiki. See the beach and things there. And then we'll go over to the other side of the island for Aulani.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And as Monica has pointed out to me, the Ilaki that we are staying in, or Ilikai resort that we're staying in on Waikiki Beach. If you ever see the old Hawaii 5-0 show or the new one, in the intro credits, they zoom in on a building that the main detective is standing on. That's the building we're going to be staying in.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. You got to watch out for those big floating yellow letters saying Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah, as long as we can duck those, we're fine.
Yeah, watch out for those. Are you driving or are you flying?
We're going to drive to Hawaii.
Okay,
it's an underwater trip. No. From here, it's 3 plane trips. Okay, we have to go from here to Minneapolis, to Los Angeles, to Hawaii.
Oh, geez. What airline you going?
Delta.
Oh, that's good. I like Delta.
Delta is good. From here, we have basically 2 choices, either Delta or United. United would take us through Denver instead of Minneapolis, but otherwise, it's the same trip.
Delta has better cook.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
this
both.
Is true.
I like both Delta and United.
And we are going to rent a car there so we can try to explore the full island. We're trying to really get around a lot of different spots.
So you are driving to Aulani then? I was right.
Yeah.
Honestly, we had scheduled our car rental some time ago, and it was crazy expensive. And a week or 2 ago, we looked at it again, and we were able to rebook the same car rental for about $500 less.
Wow. Nice. You can get some extra Spam and pineapple with that extra $500.
Do you know how many Dole Whips $500 will buy?
I never thought about that. I guess they have Dole Whips at Aulani, eh?
They do.
We were just looking into that today because there's also the Dole Plantation, which is right there on Oahu. But we can get a Dole Whip right there in Aulani. So we might just do that.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. You getting a special room view, or most of them face the ocean, I think, right?
We are getting, I believe it's a garden view.
Okay.
So we're not looking at the parking lot. We are at least looking at like some greenery and such. The actual ocean views weren't available when we were booking at our price range.
Okay, I was going to say, I can't picture it being swarming with tourism right now.
So like someone like Becky Mencken gets the ocean view, we get the garden view, but that's fine because we both get the lazy river. So that's the important thing.
Speaking of lazy, what are the things you're most looking forward to? The lazy river, obviously, the Dole Whips you mentioned. What else is there?
Absolutely. We are looking forward to those, just hanging out in, well, not just Aulani, but Hawaii in general. We're planning to do a lot of different exploring in Oahu. We're going to go see the USS Arizona Memorial, the Pearl Harbor. We're going to go and we're going to see Kualoa Ranch. They have a movie.
Is that a dressing?
Tour. What's that?
Kualoa Ranch. Is that a dressing?
No, it's a Jurassic thing. It's Jurassic Park, amongst many other movies, films in this location. They have a whole area where they film a lot of movies and such.
Like Lost, I think was filmed there.
Yeah, Lost.
Yeah.
50 First Dates. There's a bunch of different movies that are filmed in this area. We are taking an actual, it's called a Jurassic Park tour. You get to see various sites from the 5 different Jurassic Park movies that have been made now on this tour. So that's something where I'm looking forward to, because
I was going to say, as you're telling me this, Monica's yawning. Monica, what are you most looking forward to see?
I want to see all the beaches. Just like, some people sit down at one beach and they're like there for the week. I'm good for about 20, 30 minutes at one beach. And then I'm like, okay, what else can we go see? Let's go see the next beach. Oh, this one's great. Let's go see the next beach. Oh, this one's even better. So I just really like to explore.
Is there differences in beaches? Isn't it just sand and water? Like,
no, one will have rocks and one will have a little better surf and one will have, they're all different.
I get to drive to all of them. Wait.
Now, before we went on the air, we were talking about that astronomy garden thing where you can.
So
That
at
looks
Aulani, they have an Explore the Stars premium experience.
Yeah.
And I'm going to apologize to all Hawaiians everywhere for my mispronunciation of everything Hawaiian here. It's called Imiloa Na'a Hoku.
Okay. And that means just looking at
Explore
the stars.
Explore
the stars.
So basically, it's an astronomy lesson, and you get to look at the stars. They talk about the Hawaiian wayfinding, how they navigated by the stars as they explored.
The Moana with the hand
various...
up to line with the stars for navigation.
Exactly, all of that.
That looks super fascinating. How you looking how much that was? It sounds like when you say premium experience.
It does say premium experience.
Yeah.
They also, I can't book it out yet. I have to wait until we're closer to our time to even book it.
Mm-hmm. Are you able to look at pricing?
Becky Banking says it is very popular, so we're going to look into that as soon as we can.
Okay.
So I honestly don't know how much it costs.
Okay. How about dining? Is there any special dining or anything like that?
We do have a character breakfast booked. Justin is very excited to see Mickey in his Hawaiian shirt so that he and Justin can be matching. So we do have that lined up. And we also have the luau scheduled at Aulani.
And we're really hoping both of those are still in operation.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. COVID concerns. I'm guessing
that is a concern.
You guys have traveled since COVID started, right?
We have.
Yeah.
We were both vaccinated back in January.
Mm-hmm. So what precautions are required?
We have the vaccination cards and everything.
Okay, so is that...
that is one way around the quarantine for Hawaii. If you can upload your vaccine card ahead and you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to do the quarantine or the negative COVID result.
Okay, that's huge.
Yeah, as of July, they dropped the COVID requirement if you're vaccinated. I'm not sure if they'll reinstate it with the way numbers are going, but so far, right now, you just have to have your vaccine card uploaded. Okay. And then you also have to show your vaccine at certain restaurants to get in.
Okay.
And probably not just restaurants. I'm guessing various other places as well.
And spas and movie theaters.
But so we are going to be bringing our vaccination cards. We have them uploaded to the site. The day or two before we get on the plane, we have to go onto their app and get a QR code that we can show at the airport to even get on the airplane to go to Hawaii. So there are some hoops to jump through, but those are actually legitimately vaccinated instead of scrawling Moderna on a card and trying to pretend that that's your vaccination. It's not that difficult.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Traditionally, when you get to Hawaii, they have a beautiful lady there, and she puts a lei around your neck. What I understand now is what she does is she puts a mask around your face. So that's something to look forward to.
Well, maybe it'll at least have a floral pattern on the mask. Just to kind of continue that theme.
That would be cool. I don't know if they do that or not, but they should do that. If I was in marketing for Hawaii, I'd have that set up for sure at the airport. Any other things you wanted to you're looking forward to, or we want to talk about before you go? We're also looking forward to doing some snorkeling.
Okay, we've done that in Hawaii before. We've been to Kauai and we've been to Maui. And one of the nice things, depending on where you're doing some snorkeling, but around Hawaii, you can actually see turtles swimming in the water, right up next to you as you're swimming through the water. And that's a unique experience. And you can see some of the different coral, again, depending on where you're doing your snorkeling. I love to do the boogie boarding where it's not quite surfboarding because you don't have to stand up. You just have to lay down on the board and catch the wave all the same. I love doing that.
Try surfboarding though? They have surfboarding lessons there, I imagine.
I have never tried surfboarding, but this summer we did just get our first paddleboard.
Right. I saw that.
I was able to kind of stand up on a paddleboard briefly. And when I did fall the third time, I was able to land on the board instead of in the water, so I counted that as a win.
Okay. Ken, can you play some white
on
boat
my
music,
way.
please?
I'm slowly making my way, inching my way towards surfing.
Yes, okay, that's your challenge. I want you to do surfing on this trip.
I don't know if it'll be this trip, but it might be a trip.
No, you got it. That's your challenge that's your goal. Monica, hold up to it. I know Monica could do it. She'll be super surfer.
I am much more comfortable in the water than Justin is generally, so we'll see what happens. I generally kind of hang back and just wait to see if I need to save him again. So
I got a bad feeling about this trip. Alrighty, you guys got to pack. Ken, you're going to run that ad. We're going to play a quick break, and when we come back, they're going to be back from their trip, and we'll see how it went. So hang in there. We'll be right back after this.
Coming soon to Disney++. For the first time, Kermit the Frog brings his comedy stylings to a hilarious new stand-up special. It's You Bet Your Sweet Bippy, It's Not Easy Being Green.
Hi-oh, Piggy and I decided to take the kids out for dinner last night, and I asked the server, what have you got for my kids? And he said, how about a cage? But we have to eat out a lot, because Piggy's not much of a cook. I mean, how do you get bones in toast?
Watch it, mosquito breath!
Yeesh.
For one night only, it's Kermit the Frog in an all-new comedy special. You Bet Your Sweet Bippy, It's Not Easy Being Green.
These are the jokes, people. Well, otherwise I've got to get out the banjo.
Probably never coming to Disney++.
Aloha, and we're back. And my voice is better now compared to what we were before you guys left. And more importantly, Justin and Monica's back. And Justin, you didn't drown.
I didn't drown.
I was wondering, did Monica have to save you again? Or were you okay on this trip?
Save me, hold my head under, one of the two. It's always confusing. Especially when it comes to snorkeling. I am like, no, I can't go in. All right, hold my head
Okay.
down. All right.
So I'm guessing you're ecstatic to be back in North instead of being in Hawaii right about now?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it is the warmest North Dakota has ever been on our return from a vacation, though. It was like 84 degrees. Usually we come back to snow, so that was a nice surprise to have it be warm here coming back.
We're getting record heat right now, you and I both.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's so heading down, you had 3 flights you talked about. How did that work out? I guess the first flight is to
from
Minneapolis?
here to Minneapolis, and then Minneapolis to LAX, and then LAX to Honolulu.
So everything went smooth?
On the way.
Okay.
On the way back, it's Honolulu to LAX, then LAX to Minneapolis, and we had about a 1-hour layover in Minneapolis before we came back here. The problem is that the plane left LAX a little over an hour late.
So
you do the math and go, wait, we can't catch our connecting flight.
it had left by the time we got to Minneapolis. So we had about a 4-hour layover, but we did still get back the same day. Just got to be a really long trip back.
And then,
Our Saturday started on Friday morning. It was a long day.
and then 15 minutes after you got back, we recorded the What If for the solo show.
And you can probably tell, for any of the listeners of this show who listen to that as well, you can probably tell I was tired.
We were all tired. With the COVID precautions, were you checked for vaccination cards, or you had to wear masks and stuff like that on the flights?
We had to upload our vaccination cards to the Safe Travels Hawaii site. And then 24 hours before we got on the plane, we had to fill out a little questionnaire, which was basically, are you sick?
Mm-hmm.
Have you, and with that, you get a little QR code on your app on the phone. So when you get to the airport, you have to be able to show them that QR code and your vaccination card to show that you are vaccinated.
And did they ask you for it, or?
Yeah, they did. Most of the people were able to go through the line and get that verified at Los Angeles before the flight to Honolulu.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you got off the plane in Honolulu, they separated you into the people that had finished that with the wristband, and you got to go grab your suitcases. The others, if you hadn't done it before the flight, you had to do it after the flight. You had to go into a line there. So,
okay.
So just depending, you got checked one end or the other. And then hopefully if you made it there and didn't
you got
pass,
checked on one end or the other, right?
All the way back. Right. That sounds bad.
You'd either get sent back or you'd have to do like 2 weeks of quarantine.
But so if you're doing the flight, try to get the wristband before the flight, because then you can just go grab your suitcases and get out as much there to have it done before the flight.
Yeah, no kidding. Because I've heard stories of people going and not one person asks for a QR code, nothing gets checked at all. So I'm glad that they checked for you guys.
Yeah, they're pretty serious about it right now. And
Once you get to Aulani goes through this process again and checks your QR codes again and gives you a wristband there that you need to have to eat at the Aulani restaurants.
Oh, wow. So you spent the first couple of nights, I guess, at a VRBO rental.
yeah, it was a condo on Waikiki Beach, or very near to that. It's called the Ilikai building. And if you ever watch Hawaii Five-0, that building is in the opening credits.
Okay, I was trying to figure it out because I pictured that building being a hotel, and you said that you're staying in that building. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute here. You said you're staying in the VRBO. Okay, now it all makes sense.
Yeah, it's like a high-rise hotel that a lot of it's been made over into condos basically that are rented out. Yeah.
Okay, and how was that? Was it a nice place or was it a dive? Would you suggest people stay there?
It was nice. There was a good view of the ocean, as well as some of the beaches that were there. They had a couple of pools. We didn't really go to the pool there, but I mean the place was nice, and it's a good location.
Yeah, it was an older building, but I mean, the room was sure fine. And for the cost savings, I would definitely say it'd be worth looking into some of those. Just watch your reviews, to try to catch if people have been having trouble with them or not. But ours went really well.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Awesome. Good to hear. Did you do anything in that area at all or before going to Aulani? You had a car at that point, right?
Yeah, we went all over. We started out with Justin's biggest plan, actually, which was the movie tour.
So the Kualoa Ranch. Now, any places that are any movies or TV shows that film in Hawaii, a lot of them film over on Kauai, on one of the other islands. But if they film in Oahu, 99% of the time they're filming on this place called the Kualoa Ranch, and it's right in the Kualoa Mountains. It's gorgeous. It's an absolutely gorgeous place to visit. We took a Jurassic Park tour, so it was like one of the longest tours, 2.5 hours. So we got to see all over this place. But they there's scenes from Lost, there's scenes from the various Jurassic Park movies, 50 First Dates. NCIS Hawaii is going to start filming there. There's just all sorts of movies and TV shows that have filmed in this location because it's just this gorgeous valley and mountains in the background and all of that. So that was a lot of fun.
I see Monica rolling her eyes. It was a lot of fun for one of you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how long we'll let Justin go on about it because there's a lot more to the trip.
Yeah, I could talk about the Kualoa Ranch for an hour, but we don't have that kind of time. But we got to see things like the two Jurassic World movies, where a lot of those were filmed there. So we saw like the Indominus Rex paddock from the Jurassic World movie. We even got to go up in the little control room where they looked out at the Indominus Rex in that first film. So
cool.
That was
Did
a lot
you look around for the lost numbers at all when you were there? Just see if you can
so they said that they had the hatch there, but that was one of the props that they weren't able to keep. So basically, I mean, when they make these deals with the movie companies or TV shows companies, they decide up front what ones they're going to keep and what ones they're just going to tear down and take away. And that was one they didn't keep.
Okay. I find it interesting that it was a 2.5 hour tour because what happened with Gilligan's Island and a 3-hour tour, which was also filmed in Hawaii.
That is true.
There was a hatch from The Lost World, but
okay. So you're able to get the Becky Mankin view that, as you referred to in part 1.
Yeah. So Kathy Geiger, who's our MEI agent, was very helpful, and it was just within about a week's or less notice, and she was able to get us into the room we wanted with of course, a little extra money, but yeah, she was able to find us the upgrade we'd kind of been hoping for before that we hadn't quite been able to find, but some spots had opened up, so that was great.
Now, you canceled the night on the VRBO room? And was that a problem, or you ended up?
It wasn't a problem because we basically paid for it all the same. We just told them we checked out a day early.
We were within the window that we were just kind of stuck with that, but
yeah. So they didn't give you a refund for the day, or
no? But we didn't ask for one either. We were fine with it. We were just like, you know what, we're leaving a day early. This just is.
Okay. So we were talking Dole Whips before you went. Are they better in Hawaii? Are they fresher? Is the pineapple fresher? Is they?
You can get it in a waffle bowl. that was new.
Okay.
So it was like a Mickey Mouse waffle bowl Dole Whip. So it's the waffle bowl. The waffle bowl has like chocolate and sprinkles, and you have the Dole Whip in that. And then there's a chocolate Mickey face and chocolate Mickey ears that they put in it as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's
so we
fun.
had that. We had a regular Dole Whip, and then toward the end, we went up on our last day. We went up to the Dole Plantation and had a Dole Whip in a waffle cone.
At the plantation.
Yeah.
The Dole Whip.
that's cool.
The Dole Plantations is quite a bit reduced on their food service at the moment, but their one thing they still serve is Dole Whips. So
How
it was the
big
same.
is this
It was just as good.
plantation? Like, it's got to be massive because, like, they provide pineapples for pretty much every single city in North America.
Plantation is really big. We just went to the, gift shop area. They do have a little train ride you can take around, but we didn't partake of that.
Okay. How long does it take for a pineapple to grow?
Like 18 months.
Yeah, I think
wow.
I think so.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And they're only like $1.50 when they go on sale. And they ship them from Hawaii. Wow, that's crazy. Alrighty. I know you really, really enjoyed the lazy river. That was one of the things you were looking forward to. And when we were doing our live show in Grand Circle Tour, you were pointing out how the rocks look like turtles and whales and stuff like that. Some of them I saw. Some of them Now, did you find
some
those?
of them, I think if we'd have been a little closer, it would have been easier for you to see. But
Okay. So did you find those on your own, or did a cast member kind of point them out to you?
What's that?
Like the whales and the turtles and all. Did you find those on your own, or did you know about them before you went?
We knew about them ahead of time, so we were specifically looking for them as you float along. The fourth, fifth time for the day, you're like, well, maybe that one's a fish over there, and
I think that one's an eel. Oh, look, that one's a.
I don't know. A lot of them think rocks.
One thing, and it was like one of the things that we saw on the live show. But when we first floated past, I looked at this one thing and went, that looks like a bat symbol. Well, it turns out later it's the eye of the octopus.
Oh, okay.
So it's like after a while you kind of know what you're looking for, but
yeah. You had planned to go to the USS Arizona. Did that happen?
yes and no. We did go to the memorial site. They're having trouble with their dock. They had safety issues with the dock, so we couldn't go out to the floating memorial above the Arizona. So we could go to the general larger site there on land, but we couldn't take the boat out to the floating memorial of the Arizona.
Okay. I hear that that's
it had nothing to do with like COVID or anything. It was literally their dock was falling apart after so many years, and they hadn't put it back together yet.
I hear it's very emotional when you go to that. Was that your first time?
Yeah, that was our first time on this island, and that was something my parents had specifically said. Because my grandpa was in World War II in the Pacific, so they had really wanted me to see that site, and so I saw what I was able to of it, and it was really bring some of it to life there of what the situation was.
Yeah, it's a little surreal to be there and be looking around and the idyllic nature of Hawaii, basically, and imagine these are people that were just like kind of hanging out here in this tropical paradise, and all of a sudden, bam! There's this major attack that no one was expecting, and just how shocking that must have been.
Yeah, no kidding. You were talking about doing the Explore the Stars.
Yes,
and that was
we were able to do that the first night we were there. So we were trying to reserve it ahead of time, and that didn't work. So when we got there that first day, that was like one of the first things we were like, let's check on this, and we got in that same night. So that was cool. So out by the beach, they set up this giant telescope. It's an 11-inch telescope, and it's programmable. The guy could actually punch in and say, I want to look at, say, Saturn. Punches that in, and it just automatically moves itself into position.
Oh, cool.
So it's an 11-inch diameter tube, and it was probably about 3.5 feet long. So kind of fat and short. And you just put your eye up to it, and boom, there it was. It was none of this dialing, adjusting. It's literally all computerized now to be, there's the rings of Saturn.
It's kind of cheating, isn't it?
It is a little bit, but it was really awesome because like she said, we could see the rings on Saturn and some of the moons. We could see Jupiter.
Wow.
We could actually see like some of the stripes and the red spot on Jupiter. When he pointed at the moon, I mean, you could see every detail of the craters. It was just kind of amazing. And then when we were looking at stuff like outside, he showed us a binary star system, and you could see like these two stars, and one was like a bright yellow and one was like a darker blue because they're two different ages.
Oh, cool. The thing I never understood about Jupiter is like every time you see pictures of Jupiter, you always see I guess it's the eye or the storm or whatever, the big red spot. Does that always face Earth? Like you never see Jupiter from the other side. Does it not rotate?
I think it's just because that's become so iconic. Though that's the pictures that everyone wants to save and show.
I want to see the other side. Show me the other side. I always see the eye. Am I the only one? Now, did they teach you how to read the stars by holding your hand up like they do in Moana?
They didn't show us that, but they did show us a couple of like the Hawaiian constellations. So they pointed out, like we would call it the Scorpion, but they call it Maui's Hook. So,
okay. Okay. I thought maybe we can go canoeing one day and you can kind of, guide us by just holding your hand up in the sky because now you're experts.
See, now that would, if we were going to learn that, we would have learned that at the Polynesian Cultural Center, which is another place that we went.
Okay. Tell me about that.
So that was like, what was it? 6 different Polynesian areas. They had like 6 different islands, as it were, that you could go around, plus Rapa Nui with the Easter Island heads. And they would normally have a lot more going on than what they had right now, but they still had a bunch of presentations and demonstrations of things that people would do in those different cultures. And so they had they had the different buildings, so you could kind of see a lot of that and learn a lot of like cooking, and I think they had spear throwing. Yeah.
And that was it the haka? Like the yell that they do before
the
chants?
One of the things there, we took the sort of canoe ride up and down the river, and on the way back, the guy was pointing out the one outrigger canoe, which is a very Polynesian thing. And you remember in Moana, she takes out one of these outrigger canoes. It was based on that one that was at that Polynesian Cultural Center. He said like Disney came there and looked at that one in particular, and that was the basis for Moana's outrigger canoe.
Oh, cool.
He also said that she managed to drive it around with herself and a pig, but it would normally take 4 people to run the thing.
That's a little
bit of artistic license there.
Yeah, no kidding. You're mentioning food. You did the luau and you did the character breakfast. Which one's better?
The show was better at the luau.
Okay.
The food was probably better at the character breakfast.
I would agree.
Really? So what type of food do they have at the luau? Like,
it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff you see at a lot of these luau's. Now, instead of doing like a buffet, again, this is kind of something for COVID, but I hope they kind of keep it around. They'd bring out 3 courses, but each course was in like this little bento box. So they had like a covered box with dividers and individual bits of food in each of these dividers. So you got like kind of this selection of everything, so you could try all of the different kinds of foods.
That sounds good. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. So lettuce were good, a little bit of poi. Okay, well, you have to try the poi. Lomi, which was like raw salmon mixed with salsa. Not really. The raw tuna, poke, not really.
Were you able to request something like have more lettuce?
I don't know if you could or not. I didn't try that.
Okay.
I know at things like the character breakfasts and things like that, Disney has been doing that basically if you want more of something, you just have to ask them.
Yeah.
They didn't really say that specifically, but I would guess that if there was something you wanted more of, that they would bring you a little more.
But you guys didn't want more of any. Did they not roast a pig? Like, did they not?
Well, yeah. The second box was very meat heavy. It had some like barbecued ribs. It had the Kahlua pork, the full roasted pig, little bits of him. It had chicken. It had fish and some macaroni salad. So they did kind of.
I really did enjoy the beef. I think you gave me yours.
Yeah, the fish was good though. But
yeah, the fish was okay. So some of the food was okay, but the show was better. I really enjoy the luau shows. So this is why we went to a luau, is because we love to see the show.
Yeah, so they have like fire dancers and stuff like that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and even just the band the group that played just while you were eating and things, just that easy listening Hawaiian music was just really well done.
A lot of ukuleles.
Some string bass. Yeah, it was nice.
Steel guitar.
Yeah,
that's also Hawaiian.
For the you were talking about going snorkeling, and you were wanting to see turtles. Did you get to go snorkeling? Did you see a turtle?
So we went to Hanama Bay. That's one of the great places to go snorkeling. And it's really great if you get there like right away in the morning. But to go there, you have to get a reservation, and you can only make the reservation like 2 days ahead. And it opens up at like 7:00, and we logged in about 7:06, and all of the morning slots were taken.
Oh, get out!
Kind of like Rise of the Resistance. We didn't know we needed to be so ready at 7. It was like, yeah, we should have been planning like Rise of the Resistance.
So apparently, apparently that's very common, that it's like within the first 5 minutes, like a lot of it's taken out. So we had a time for like 12:50, so more afternoonish. So we did get in there. We went through all of the stuff. They show you a film, basically respect the bay and the coral and the fish and all of that before they let you go in. So we got in and we did a little bit of snorkeling, and we were kind of in the middle part, kind of away from the coral, and a lot of the fish had kind of already been scared away by the people. So we didn't really see a lot.
Okay.
I saw like one fish, and we were kind of done snorkeling. We just kind of swam for a while. But when we went to Aulani, they have snorkeling there.
Okay.
They have the, was it Rainbow Reef, it's called. And so we went snorkeling there, and we got the 1 day pass to start, and we went snorkeling and we loved it. And so we got the length of stay pass, which if you're going to do at least twice, that's the length of stay pass is worth it. And we were going to be there 6 days. So we did that. And that is fantastic because you don't have any waves. It's almost like snorkeling in an aquarium. And if you're at Epcot, looking at the
big blue pool.
Yeah. So it's like, if you want to really see, nature and things, go out in the real actual water. But if you just want to snorkel for a little while and see lots of fish, totally do the Rainbow Reef. It's guaranteed. Lots of fish right there. No waves. It was great.
That's cool. Was there turtles at all, or basically fish?
There wasn't turtles in that aquarium. It was all fish. A lot of different kinds of fish, a lot of the very bright colored fish and such in particular.
Nice.
Because it's Disney. They're going kind of the bang for the buck, as it were. They want you to have a really good experience.
Yeah. So
there was a lot of fish, very brightly colored. They make sure there's a lot of food scattered around, so the fish are always kind of all around.
Yeah. Did they have like hidden Mickeys buried in the water or anything like that, or?
There wasn't so much a hidden Mickey. A couple of the feeding trays were Mickey shaped, but they did have a couple of Menehune statues.
Okay, you're gonna have to let me know who the Menehune is.
So
I was gonna let you have that face for a moment. You're like, what did he just say? He said a word, and I don't know what that means. So do you want to?
Well, it's kind of a traditional story passed down in Hawaii that the Menehune were little people that would come out at night and build things, but all of their things they built had to be built within a single night.
Oh, so they're Fraggles.
There you go.
or the Doozers.
They're Hawaiian Fraggles. There you go.
Yeah,
so they have like these 800-year-old, fishing pond kind of things where, like at the edge of the sea, the rocks will be built up to form, kind of your little, like a large tidal pool, like a fishing pond. And that's one of the things is that they supposedly built those overnight by the Menehune, and they can also be a little bit of mischievous sometimes too. They get sometimes blamed for things, but you can leave out food and offerings for them if you'd like.
Oh, cool.
But they have a bunch of different statues.
So you left that poi that they gave you at the luau.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
But yeah, so they had a couple of those statues of those little Menehune characters in the Rainbow Reef, and they also had them kind of scattered throughout the hotel as well. So like in the one elevator, if you look up, they have a little Menehune statue of a little Menehune sleeping, and the one child play area in the in the pool area had a lot of them. And then the Menehune Adventure Trail is also based around those Menehune. So that's kind of their Mickey. Their hidden Mickeys are really hidden Menehunes.
Is like Duffy and Friends big in Aulani?
Oh, the turtle is pretty big.
Yeah, because because the turtle I think originally started in Aulani and now kind of moved to Japan.
Yeah, so he is from that group. They had a little bit of Duffy and Shelley May merchandise in the store. Nothing like what you'd see over in Asia, but they did have some of that merchandise in stores. But mainly the as far as characters you see, Olu the turtle was the one that showed up.
Yeah, and Olu was one of the characters that would come out for pictures as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when you're floating down that lazy river, they have like this one bridge that kind of goes across, and if you're on that bridge, you can kind of look at people on the lazy river from both sides. So that's where they would send out these characters to go wave at people as they're going down the lazy river.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you're like, wait, grab the edge. Hold on. I'm passing Minnie. Get the camera.
So we got most of our character photos from
in the lazy river
on the lazy river with our camera in a dry bag, so it wasn't getting wet.
Were you taking like selfies then, or just character photos then? Because your hair always looks so good on a
just
lazy
character
river. Now you were talking about doing the paddle boarding. Did you get to do that?
You know, we didn't do paddle boarding in Hawaii, although we do have a paddle board of our own that we've taken up to the lake this summer.
You can rent those at Aulani. We definitely did see people out in the lagoon with the paddle boards.
Because you were saying your goal is when you fall to fall in the water, not on the board, and you were going to work on that.
No, the other way around. If I fall on the board, I consider that a win.
Oh, the board is a win.
Because then I'm still dry.
Okay, Monica, you promised me you were going to get him out on surfing.
I did not. I did not get him surfing, but I did get him down both water slides. One that you ride in the inner tube, and one that you just go down regular. So he was in the water more in this last 2 weeks than I think he has been the last 25 years. So I was impressed with how much we got Justin in the water activities.
Yeah, Justin's a lot like me that way. I don't do water slides or water very much either.
But the pools there are heated. I mean, the Rainbow Reef, the snorkeling, that one is not because it has to be cooler for the fish. But the others are really heated to a pretty warm temperature. The pools and the lazy river both. I mean, you could just float for hours and you're not getting all the shivering and stuff. It's really a nice temperature.
Okay.
They heat it partly with their like air conditioning. The like excess heat produced from the air conditioning system is recycled and used to heat the pools.
Oh, really? Okay.
System. Yeah.
That makes sense. That's a good way to do it. We kind of touched on it, but we never really talked about it too much. You did do the character breakfast. Which characters were there, and was it worth it?
When we come in to check in, they had Mickey and Pluto. So you could get your photos taken by the photographers there. And then you'd wait to get seated. And then when you're getting seated, they take you over, and there was a photo opportunity with Chip and Dale. And
that was it.
That was basically it for this entire character breakfast.
It was not very charactery.
Yeah. And these aren't even like hug them character meets. They're like over the shoulder. They're 6 feet away from you.
From a distance, you could you could take a selfie with Chip and Dale, but and then none of the photos that the photographers were taking were included in that. Whereas with the luau, when you were getting seated, you got the photographers took your photo with a couple of the performers before you sat down, and those pictures were included with your meal price. But
you have to pay extra for the character photos.
So you had to pay extra. It was an extra $35 for the Mickey photos, and then the Chip and Dale photos were part of the photo pass. So if you got the day pass, that was another $20 for photo pass to get those photos.
Oh, okay. So a tip is, if you're going to the character breakfast and you're planning on getting the photo pass at one point for the day, make it the same day.
Right.
Yeah.
So at least you get the photos from Chip and Dale at least. Yeah.
In terms of like the amount of characters, I was a little disappointed. The Topolino character breakfast that we did back in, was that January? In January. That was a lot nicer because you had like all four different characters came out at different times, and you had an opportunity to take photos of all of them individually. And then they all came out and did like a kind of dance thing at the end. And so there was a lot more character interaction in that character breakfast than there was in this one.
Okay. And I'm assuming it's family style feeding, or they bring you the food as opposed to buffet.
Yeah, they weren't doing the buffet. You basically ordered your food from a menu, just like a normal restaurant.
Okay.
And they brought it out. I think, now I know at Topolino's you could ask for more of stuff. I'm assuming you could here. We didn't ask for more, but I
You
think
could
you
have got
could.
more pastries? Are you kidding me? This is no time to tell me.
Time to go back. Pack those bags.
We have to go back.
We have to go back.
Well, it sounds like you guys had a blast.
Oh, absolutely. We had a lot of fun. We hiked up Diamond Head. That was something we did outside of the resort. That was a lot of fun.
We hiked to Manoa Falls.
Yeah.
Waterfall. About a 3-mile round trip.
Uphill,
Nice.
both ways. No. Well, at least one way.
We made it.
we did survive both hikes, so that's the important thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. The now coming back home, you I know you mentioned you had a delay flight. Do they check vaccination cards to get back to the mainland, or is it?
Well, because of the state we're from, they don't care here. So there's really there's nothing.
But you're going back to California though first. You're not going
Right,
straight.
but they didn't check anything there.
And again, in California, we're not leaving the airport. We're just getting in the airport and getting on another plane. So they're not really checking anything there or at Minneapolis. So it's mostly your final destination is where they're more concerned about. And North Dakota doesn't care.
Well, yeah, they do care because they won't let Canadians drive there yet. I can't drive to North. But I find it. The reason I ask that because I find it interesting that, like, for me to go from like Canada to California, I have to have a vaccination card, or actually I have to have a negative test. Never mind a vaccination card.
Yeah. It's like if we were staying in California, we might have there might have been more things for us to do. But since we were just kind of flying through, it's different.
Okay. Well, anyways, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad we were able to sit down and chat.
Are you jealous?
I'm jealous of the entire Disney community right now. I can't think of one person I'm not jealous. Maybe Jay from Grand Tour is the only one I can think of.
We really did like it. We were even thinking of maybe trying to look into the point rentals for DVC. Because this time we'd gotten it on quite a good sale, but next time I think we'd try look into point rentals possibly, because that says that you can get some better rates than just paying the regular rack rates on.
Well, you can email Scott at dvc-rental.com and tell him Stan sent you.
There you go.
There we go.
He'll take care of you. All righty.
Sounds good.
This was a lot of fun. We're going to wrap it up, and Ken, take it away.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.